Hello everyone, welcome back to Ideas Times 2. This is Cindy, and I am so excited today to share a junk journal project with you. So whether you're here to learn a new technique or just soak up some inspiration, I hope you'll grab a cup of tea and craft along with me today. So if you remember, back a couple of months ago, I did a tutorial on this Folio, and as you can see, after I did that video, I didn't finish it. I put it to the side because I was working on some Edith Holden projects, and my goal over the summer break was to use up an entire Edith Holden book, which I did. I made 6 projects and decimated the book. Nothing left but scraps. So now it's time for me to go back and complete some projects that have been backburnered, including this one. If I want to ever get it finished, get it into the shop, or give it away, or whatever I decide to do with it, I've got to get on the ball. So we made this folio, and then I made a mini file folder to go inside, and that's going to go here with a button string closure. And it's getting there. It's not going to take long to finish. And there's going to be a junk journal here in the back, but I thought I would do a small folio, smaller folio than this one, with some strawberry ephemera to go along with this. It won't go inside, or maybe, we'll see. I'm not sure, 100% sure what I'm doing in the back, so it may wind up going back here. I'm making it though to fit, so it will either accompany this or go inside as I finish it. So really what you need for this project is a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, or what I'm using is a business size or legal size file folder. And I'm going to cut this down to 6.5 inches by 12 inches. And I'm going to actually start with the 12 so that I'll be able to cut the rest. Unfortunately, the bottom's not very straight, but we'll start with that. Getting rid of this, and I'll hang on to this. I'll be able to use that for some pockets or tags or something. And I'm going to, I don't know if you can see, I cut this off of the other side of the folder, and it's really uneven. It has a score mark there I don't want. And I'm also going to cut off at the top so that it is just a rectangle. I generally like to leave the tabs on. I think they're fun, but not today. So I'm just going to trim off a little bit off of the bottom, get rid of that score mark and even things out, and then flip it over and cut this to 6.5 inches tall. Hang on to that, that's usable. So this is now 6.5 by 12. And oops, I just dropped the paper cutter. Grab my scoreboard. And let's see if I can remember what or where I'm scoring. I wrote it down, but now I don't see where I did with my paper. So things got kind of messed up when I was crafting yesterday. So I do want to score at 3.5 inches, and this is going to be the flap closure, and then I want to score again at 7 7/8, which is just one left from the 8-inch mark. Hopefully that's exactly right. And this will fold over here, and you want to leave some space there so that it doesn't get caught. And then this will be my flap closure. And let's see, I think I can move the scoreboard out of the way. So this will be the closure. I think I'll use button and string, and then on the inside I will decorate and embellish, put pockets on these two sides, but not on this one. I'll decorate it, but I won't put any pockets. But I did want to also have another flip. So let's see. I need another piece of file folder. And this was kind of a prototype, you can see, where as I was trying to decide on sizes, I have a lot of score marks there, but I'll still be able to use all of these pieces for something. So I think I'm going to, let's see, use this one. I need, since I've already prepared the pieces, I think to decorate, I've already prepared those. Make sure I cut this to the right size. I am going to maybe trim a little bit. I don't think it really needs trimming too much, but I don't want it to become too bulky. And I'm going to score it, this back on here, at a 1/2 inch. About 1/2 inch. I'm going to go ahead and score, just using this rather than taking out the scoreboard again. And then, using my scissors, if I can find them. Where are my scissors? I just had them. Does that happen to you where you're using something and then just all of a sudden it vanishes? They vanish? I know I just had my scissors. Because I was just sewing. Where did I put my scissors? Oh well. These will work. So since this is going to be a flap, I'm going to be gluing this down. And so I'm going to trim just an angle from the score mark inward. Give that a good burnish. And grab this, and then I'm going to glue this down, so this will be a flip up. And I'm just using Fabri-Tac. It's my favorite glue. I know I say it all the time. Maybe one of these times Fabri-Tac will send me some free glue. I give them enough free advertising. I love Fabri-Tac, although it plays havoc on my nails. All right. So this is our basic instruction. This is our flap, closure, and then we've got the inside, this flip in the back. Give this a good burnish. Get rid of my trash here. And I'm going to round the flap closure. Give that a finished look. And there's our basic construction. So, for full disclosure, I actually started filming this yesterday and got about 15 minutes in, and I dropped my paper cutter. Not a surprise, you've already seen I've dropped it today. But when I dropped it, it landed on something else, and it made a ton of noise, and it scared the cat. And then she ran across the table and got just really chaotic for a couple of minutes, and I ran out of bobbin. Just all sorts of things were going wrong yesterday. So I just put it aside and had to start over. But as a result, I have all of the embellishment pieces are already done. They're already finished because I did them yesterday as part of yesterday's video, which means today is going to go by a lot faster because I've already done all the work. So right now I'm just inking the edges. Of course, this is not necessary depending on your style, but the folio that this is going to go with, I inked those edges, so I like to be consistent, and once I do some, I do all of them. So this is just a style that I prefer, a little grungier, a little more vintage. But is not required. If it's not your style, then don't worry about it. I think I got all of the sides. And it looks like I need to trim a little bit off of the side here. I think it slid when before it dried, but I don't think it'll matter too much. Okay, so goes this direction. Looking good. Rid of my trash. And let's go ahead and start decorating. And we'll make a button and string closure so that you can see the finished product. And if you're not familiar with button and string closures, then you can, I will go over the kind of the how-tos. So hopefully I have enough glue to get everything glued on. And so you can see I cut and inked and sewed all of the decorative elements, and we're just going to glue them down, or at least glue some of them down, so that you can see how it's going to look finished, and then to do the closure. I'm sure you don't want to watch me glue everything down. It's a lot of sides. So there's the inside of the closure, and here's the outside. And I probably will do a little bit more embellishing, but the closure may be enough. We'll see. actually just using the tip of the dispenser here to smear the glue around. I'm not trying to overuse the glue. So there's our flap when it's closed. Let's go ahead and do the back and so I'm using all strawberry paper, but they're all different papers. So they all coordinate, but they are not matchy-matchy. If you prefer to do matchy-matchy, I think it'd be adorable. But I don't think I had enough of any one of these papers individually to do all of the sides. And since, let's put it, they really don't have a direction, so the strawberries are going all the directions. Actually, I'm going to flip it this way. And on this one, I think I actually intended this one to go here. And so I did all side tucks in this. I don't know why, no particular reason. And so the direction I have them going is all towards the inside so that things don't slide out. Although once it's closed, I don't think it much matters, but I wanted to make sure that the bits of ephemera and whatever I make to go inside of all these pockets doesn't come out of the folio. And as much as I love making ephemera, tags and cards and things, that's one of the the worst things about making elaborate folios or things with many pockets is that you have to fill them. And sometimes it just takes forever to get all of the pieces and parts put together. So let's see. With the flap, I'm going to have the pockets on both sides facing down. Obviously, that goes on this side because the picture is going the other direction. But kind of for the same reason. If the pocket's going the other direction, when you open it, stuff will fall out of the pocket. So that's why I did it that way. But the little tucks there are all going to go towards the bottom. So this flap, I can't remember. I think I said it was 2.5. 2 and almost 3/4. And there was a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch or so tab on there. The finished product is 6.5 by 4.5. And for the scrapbook paper here, I cut it just, I think a 1/2 inch smaller than the section that I wanted to leave a 1/4 inch all the way around, so I cut it a 1/2 inch smaller on each side, well, 2 sides technically, of the folio, so this project, just like pretty much everything I do, is easy to modify to fit your needs. If you want to make it bigger or smaller, all you have to do is make it bigger or smaller. There's nothing precise. You know, as I said at the beginning of this video, I am not a measurer, so there's I just eyeball things. If it looks about the size I want, then it's all good. Let's see. So the people are going the right direction. This green paper here is a toile print, and so I don't want those horses upside down. And then this is the last. Whoops, that can't. I messed up somewhere. I bet I messed up here. Luckily, I just glued that down. This one goes here. I've got cobwebs of glue all over my fingers. I bet you saw I was making that mistake, didn't you? You're probably yelling at me through the computer, and I just didn't even notice what I was doing. So this is the piece that goes here. Probably enough glue on there to hold it, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to add a little bit more glue. There we go. That's better. But you can see this easily could be modified for anything. And any size, any kind of project, modern, vintage. And this is what it looks like. There's the back, the front, one pocket here, a pocket here, pocket here and here, and one here. And so inside the pockets I will put I've got some cards from a kit. And these were leftovers from another project, and so I'm trying to use stuff up this year, trying not to buy more craft supplies for a while, with the exception, of course, of glue. And I will fill these with ephemera, homemade ephemera, cards, and things like that. So now the last thing we need to do is the closure. So like I said, I'm going to do button and string. So I'm going to use my 1-inch punch, and let's see, I think I will use just a piece of this scrap file folder. There's a hanging folder. Hanging folders are generally a little sturdier than the regular file folders. So I'll use that, and I want to put something over the top. So maybe I'll do a strawberry. And I'm just doing, if this is sturdy enough probably on its own, but I like to do multiple layers. I like to make that button a bit sturdy, because when you're opening and closing regularly, you don't want anything too flimsy, so that it doesn't Now where did I put my ink? I swear there is somebody at my desk messing with me today. Well, the last 2 days. Things just have not been going well at my crafting table. Really, or at work. I don't know. There's like a gremlin loose or something. We had a lockdown yesterday. Technology issues, you name it. We have had problems at work and now having problems at my table here. And so I just glued the two pieces together to make it nice and sturdy. And then I'm going to put a hole in the middle, hopefully in the middle since I'm eyeballing. Not too bad. And then here I will measure, I'll measure this one. So 6.5. We're pretty close, which would be 3.25. See if that's a good spot. I think so. So I will punch a hole here as well. I have problems with this thing all the time. I never know if I'm going to have jagged edges on the inside or what. So I'm going to do that again. There we go. All right. And I did not grab any string. So I've got some, I think that's too Christmassy. But I do have some twine handy that I think might look really good. A little rustic. Will just go underneath. Yeah, the baker's twine is a lot thinner. To be tucking under. I don't know why it. There we go. Trim that edge. Tuck it under. So I may change my mind on that, but we'll see. But there we go. That is the finished product. This, I'm not real happy with that. I'll probably fix that off camera because I'll have to dig out my other colors. I have like 20 colors of baker's twine, all sorts of pretty colors. I know I've got something else I'll like better, but that gives you an idea of this kind of closure. And our finished product. I think I'm happy with this. I think it's going to be a nice accompaniment to my strawberry folio. And I know we're at 30 minutes, but I want to share something. And I hope you stuck around to the end of this video because I have the best thing I want to share. I work with a guy who owns a, he works in the auto body shop at school where the kids learn how to refinish cars and refurbish and restore cars. But he also owns an antique store with his wife. And he brought me a box of ephemera from the 1930s. And I'm not sure what I want to do with it. And there are a bunch of letters from Mary to Bill, and some from Mother to her son. I don't know who the mother is. I'm guessing it's also Mary, but it's during the Great Depression, and Mary and Bill were separated. I don't know if they were married, if they were sweethearts, but they lived in 2 different towns in Virginia. And also in here are envelopes and a couple of newspaper clippings. And she wrote him a letter about taxes, and then here's a newspaper clipping about taxes. I'm guessing it was in the envelope with her plea about the taxes, and it's just beautiful. Some of it's pretty delicate, but a lot of it is in great shape, and she's got beautiful penmanship. Don't have any letters from Bill to Mary, just from Mary to Bill, and they're just friendly letters. And here's some bank envelopes and some bounce checks. He had some bounce checks, unfortunately. Poor Bill. His business, I don't think, was doing very good. But Krispy Kreme Donut Company, Bond Bread Bakers. These are from 1949. One of the letters, I hope it's this, I think it's this one, just was so interesting because she says, this is from mother to son. My dear son, I've been listening to the coronation services all morning and now must hurry to write you a few lines before mail comes. So this was Wednesday, December 31st, and it was the coronation of George VI, and she's listening to it on the radio. And I think it was 1936 or 37. I don't remember. My British history isn't all that great, but I think it must be, I don't remember now. I don't want to hazard a guess beyond that. And then at the end, she tells all her little, fun stuff. And at the end, she says, I wonder if Edward heard the coronation this morning. She's talking about Edward, who abdicated the throne. Wondering if he listened to the coronation this morning and how he felt about it. Did he knit his brow and say, I acted a fool? Or did he just put his arms around that adventuress and say, I rather have you? I just thought that was an interesting observation, something she had been thinking about. A real piece of history. Yep, 1937. And then this other one kind of reminded me of us junk journal people. She wrote this on this scrap piece of paper, and she says on the back, I have paper, but like to use the scraps. And so that reminded me of myself. I have paper, I have a lot of paper, but I like to use the scraps. So my question, I just wanted to share this beautiful box of stuff with you, but I have a question because I'm not sure what I want to do with it. I may scan it so I have it for multiple projects, but I like to use real ephemera in my projects because a lot of people, they get the ephemera and then they scan it, and then what do they do with the ephemera? They like stick it in a drawer. They're not using it. I like to be able to share it. I want people to just to marvel at these amazing pieces of history. So what do you think I should do? A theme journal, I don't know. What do you think? Give me some ideas. Put some comments in down below so that I have some ideas, multiple ideas to choose from. I'd really appreciate getting some feedback on that. So once again, here's our project, a little folio with a flip, and I 100% am going to get rid of this. I'm going to change it before I take pictures, so you'll see it in the pictures. Excuse me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more crafty goodness. Keep creating, and I'll see you again soon for another tutorial. Bye-bye, everybody.